October 15th, Wednesday, Memorial of St. Teresa of Avila, Virgin and Doctor of the Church. Reflection by Reverend Father Clifford Atta Anim, Luke 11:42-46, Hypocrisy and the Burden of Religion. In today's Gospel, taken from Luke's account of the Sermon on the Plain, Jesus expresses deep moral indignation and sorrow at the hypocrisy of the scribes and Pharisees. These religious leaders, instead of guiding people toward God, have built barriers that weigh heavily upon them. Through unnecessary, impractical, and endless interpretations of Mosaic law, they have turned divine worship into a burden rather than a blessing. Jesus makes 3 specific accusations against them, naming their misbehaviors clearly and directly. 1. Misinterpreting the spirit of the law. The first charge is that they have distorted God's law, focusing on legalistic precision rather than spiritual intent. As Jesus says, "Woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and every herb, and neglect justice and the love of God." Luke 11:42. The law of tithing was meant as an expression of gratitude to a generous and providing God. See Deuteronomy 14:22, Leviticus 27:30. But the Pharisees made it burdensome by counting even the smallest garden herbs while neglecting mercy, justice, and love. In doing so, they lost sight of the very heart of God's will. 2. Seeking status and honor. The second accusation concerns their pride and desire for public recognition. They loved places of honor in synagogues and respectful greetings in marketplaces. Luke 11:43. Their religiosity became a performance for human praise rather than a humble service before God. St. John Chrysostom once observed that the love of honor is like a disease that corrupts even good works. Homilies on Matthew 72:1. Jesus reminds us that the true disciple seeks not applause, but faithfulness. 3. Moral corruption behind religious appearances. Finally, Jesus compares them to unmarked graves that people walk over without knowing. Luke 11:44. This image is powerful. On the roads leading to Jerusalem, tombs were whitewashed before major feasts to prevent accidental ritual defilement. Outwardly, the Pharisees appeared pure and spotless, but inside they were full of spiritual decay. Their hypocrisy contaminated others, spreading false ideas about what God truly demands: mercy, humility, and love, rather than rigid external observance. Life Messages 1. True religion is love in action. The essence of religion is not in rituals or legalism, but in loving God and discovering His image in every person. Genuine love is sacrificial. It lifts the burdens of others instead of adding to them. As St. James writes, "Religion that is pure and undefiled before God is this: to care for orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world." James 1:27. 2. Reverence and respect are the foundations of faith. The 10 Commandments rest on 2 great principles: reverence for God and respect for neighbor. When we learn to honor God's name, His day, and His image in others, we live true religion. Hypocrisy, on the other hand, empties worship of its power. God does not seek performance, but sincerity hearts that reflect His justice and mercy. God bless you,